Welcome to a Sunday thought. This Sunday, my thought is about patience. A lot of that came in, I could say I got inspired because of what's happening across our border in the US, where their election is probably not really totally going to be resolved for some time. And, and patience needs to be. Plus, in all our lives, especially right now with what's happening and what's going on, patience is required. It reminds me of a thought that I was raised with, which was patience is a virtue. Now, so I went to the Oxford Dictionary and it says patience, the capacity to accept or to tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Now, today in our instant society, we become impatient very often. Something isn't quite quick enough. Boy, it takes me a whole minute to heat up my tea in the microwave. Or, oh, jeepers, I have to stand in this lineup because, it's just, for me, it's difficult sometimes because I can't stand very well for a long period of time at this point of time. Anyway, so we become impatient? So that's the opposite. Patience is perhaps what we could require and need, but we become impatient. And when we become impatient, that leads to frustration and anger, and we have reactions. Now, I have a whole concept about what I call sad man, a helpless way of looking at life because we feel helpless. We want it quicker. We want it now. We want things to work the way we want them. And part of our society seems to say very often is that, if you think it and want it, it will be. And what a lot of people don't realize is that time is a very important element. So I'm going to talk about the bigger element of creating for a moment. I have written a few notes down here, and one of them was knowing all things occur in their own timing. It took me a lot of years to really learn and come to terms about timing. You put a thought out and you do all what you're supposed to do to help create what it is that you want in your reality, and then it doesn't show up, or it shows up much later than you expected. And as I tell my clients, very often you've got to think of the energy of the universe that is working with your thoughts and your energy to create. It's like a big computer, where a computer has its inner workings and it'll go right, like very quickly to give you the result. In life, it sometimes has to work with all the other energies, all the other people asking and inquiring. How does that all fit together? So sometimes timing is important because it's not the right time in relation to everything else. Now, by being more relaxed and patient, it really aids your life going smoother. It's important to have your goals. We need our goals. You keep your goal. What have I got written down here? Keep your goals in your mind and allow time to bring you what you want. Now, I have a saying which says time is your friend, because that's what I learned many, many years ago, that if I relaxed, when it arrived, whatever it was always perfect. If it came a little early, it wasn't quite so perfect. Like if I pushed it, because I was I want it now. When I was young and before I learned that the timing is given to you when you want. So patience is a virtue because it is something that is acquired, and I think and believe it is acquired a little more relating to age. Some souls are born and they have patience from the get-go, but mostly no, not mostly in our life, especially as this lives now are very much right now, this time. Excuse me a sec. Oh dear, I had a sneeze. It's kind of the weather changing and it's damp and cold and it's not super early, but my nose has decided it needed to sneeze. That was the timing on that. This should be about timing, I guess, but it's not. It's about patience, being patient. Patient around time. You ever sat and watched a clock because you wanted something to happen and it hasn't happened yet? That's where we often get impatient, when it's on our own timetable. So I want you to think this week about, are you patient? Where are you patient? And in juxtaposition, where are you impatient? Because sometimes it's certain areas of our lives that we get impatient. Sometimes people can trigger us for that. They don't respond quick enough, or they don't answer quick enough, or whatever it is. Just want you to think about it and perhaps contemplate what it would be like if you were patient. See what happens if you're in a lineup, because now we have to line up for all sorts of things. Just breathe and know your turn will come in the correct time, that you will go on with your life and what you're wanting. If you're a creating person like I am, that things will occur in their appropriate timing, and learn to trust that. And I just really, really wish that you have an absolutely wonderful, great week as you explore the importance of patience.